Hey guys, this is Arpan from CloudMundu, and today we're going to be talking about the top 10 most useful developer tools to use in 2021. And a quick side note, these tools are in no particular order, so without further ado, let's get into it. At number 1, I have GitHub. Now, this is an essential thing for web development, software engineering, and anything else that requires programming. GitHub is great, and if you don't know what it is, it's a platform where you can store your code, collaborate with other developers, and work on projects from anywhere in the world. You can use Git as the version control system, and you can use this to download code repositories, push code, create branches, collaborate, pull requests, etc. And you can check out GitHub at github.com. Number 2 on this list is Visual Studio Code. Now, if you're a developer, you probably know about text editors and IDEs. Personally, I think that Visual Studio Code is the best one out there, and it falls right in between the category of a text editor and an IDE. It's constantly getting updates, it's really straightforward to use, and has lots of customizations. It's available on all 3 operating systems, including Mac, Windows, and Linux, and there's these extensions in Visual Studio Code, which are basically extra add-ons to the editor, and these extensions can help you customize the editor, write better code, etc. There's also built-in Git as well as an integrated terminal, which you can adjust and run commands with. Number 3 on this list is Figma. Now, if you're a front-end web developer, it takes a lot of time to create a nice, responsive user interface. It especially becomes frustrating when you spend a lot of time on creating a UI only for it to not look like what you were hoping for. In order to avoid this, you can use Figma. Figma is an app you can use to create designs for your products before building them. Once you make a design that you are satisfied with, you can just code that design out. This saves a lot of time, and I personally recommend this app for any full-stack or front-end web developers. It's also used by many companies like Twitter and GitHub, and you can get this for free at figma.com. Number 4 on this list is Tabnine, and this is specifically for people that use VS Code, which is another tool I mentioned previously. So basically, Tabnine is an extension that uses artificial intelligence and machine learning to autocomplete your code. So it basically looks at previous code you have written, and if you're writing something similar, it will try to guess what you're writing. This is one of the many features that this extension has, and it definitely helps you code faster. It's really well integrated with Visual Studio Code, and it's free to use. It's easy to sign up and get started using it, and I would 100% recommend this for any type of developer, whether you're a web developer, a software engineer, etc. Number 5 on this list is LiveShare, which is another VS Code extension. And this one is really useful if you're doing pair programming. If you're working on a project alongside someone else, you can use this extension to do pair programming, and this works the same way that Google Docs works, except this is for programming. I recommend this extension because it's straightforward to use and is also very useful. You can install this in VS Code from searching LiveShare in the extensions search bar, and you can also highlight code, look at files, edit code, and jump to your partner's cursor, etc. And the best part is that these changes are instant and there's really no delay, and on top of that, it's very secure too. Number 6 on this list is probably one of the most, if not the most important resource that programmers use to fix bugs. Number 6 is Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow is a website you can use to find fixes to bugs in your code. The bug you may have encountered could have been experienced by someone else, and since there's an active community, 9 times out of 10 you will find a fix to your issue. I promise you that every developer has went to this website for help, and if you can't find a fix, you can post your issue and others will see it and reply to help you out. Number 7 on this list is Notion. Now, Notion is an app that anyone can use, and this is not just for programmers. Notion is a note-taking app, and it's incredible. Even though it's a note-taking app, you can even write code snippets. For example, you could be in a programming class and you can write code snippets in Notion to take notes. I personally use this for small amounts of code like algorithms and for writing YouTube scripts, but you can also make to-do lists to keep track of your work and to complete tasks. Another benefit is that this app is completely free, and it also has a mobile app so you can access it on your phone. You can plan things out with Notion as well as structure your day, and this app helps if you're into being very productive. Number 8 is Linux commands. Now, most developers either use a Windows machine, Mac, or some distro of Linux. For developers, learning Linux commands can be super helpful. Linux commands can help you navigate through your computer, run applications, execute commands, and do many more. Once you learn Linux commands, you won't need to rely on your mouse very much, and this will make you super productive. Even just learning the basic Linux commands can help you work much faster. You can run these commands in the terminal if you're on a Mac or Linux machine, or run them in the PowerShell if you're on Windows. Number 9 on this list is Postman. If you don't know, Postman is an app you can download for API development. If you're working on building APIs, you can use Postman to make requests. If you're working on testing APIs, you can use Postman. It's used by more than 15 million developers, and it's very straightforward to use, and it also has a simple user interface to navigate with. You can just put the URL of your server and you can see what's going on. Whenever I'm testing out my APIs, I prefer to use Postman, and I would recommend this to every web developer. Number 10 on this list is Docker. Now we all know that issue where your project works completely fine on your machine but runs into an issue on a production server. For example, a package may not be working correctly or some file paths are different. Now with Docker, you can resolve all of these issues. Basically, in your project, you can create something called a Docker file and use that Docker file to create a build of your project, and this will contain all of the project files and create something called a Docker image. This image can be ran as a Docker container, and that container would run your project and you'd have no issues at all, and your project would run perfectly. Then, if you want to access that image remotely, you can upload it to Docker Hub, which is like GitHub, and then you can access that image from Docker Hub by searching it and then download it and run it. You won't have to install anything else since everything is compiled into that one image. Alright everybody, that's it for this video. I hope you'll start using these tools and I hope this was informative. And to find your next career opportunity, visit cloudmandu.com and see you next time.